Yeah, so when we talk about can you tell Brian when he's going up?
Yes.
That's good.
Hello.
It's here too. Good. 2 recognitions. Everyone feel like we have seats? We can add another row in if we need to. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you guys want to grab a couple more for the back before we get started. Can you coordinate a couple? Thanks, guys. Will everybody please rise? Scouts, please present the colors. Senior Patrol Leader Nick Peralt will lead us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and Scout Oath. Please remain standing while the Scouts recite the Scout Oath.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scout sign. Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to the Scout law, to live at all times, myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
2. Post the colors.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Tyler, and I would like to welcome you to a very special Eagle Court of Honor for Max Buchholz. I am very happy to be here despite our recent weather, and there are some special guests who have been fortunate enough to make it here. I would like to take a few moments to introduce them. As I call your name, if you could please rise briefly so that we would know who you are. Max's parents, Dave Buchholz and Barbara Risha. Max's brothers, Cameron and Nathan. Max's grandparents, Don and Suzanne. And Sue. Troop 1 Scoutmaster and Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. John Paul Benoit and Gary Bernclough. Troop 1 Committee Chairman, Mr. Chris Spear. Representing the sponsoring organization for Troop 1 Stowe, the Troop 1 Stowe alumni, Mr. John Wood. Representing the Governor's Office, Mr. Brian Burke. From the Massachusetts House of Representatives, the Honorable Kate Hogan. Representing the Stowe Board of Selectmen, Mr. Brian Burke. Representing the sponsoring organization for Max's Eagle Project, the Stowe Recreation Committee, Mr. Eric Bachtel. Just to put the Eagle rank in perspective, let me give you some background information from the National Eagle Scout Association. The Eagle Award is Scouting's highest rank and among its most familiar icons. Men who have earned it count it among their most treasured possessions. Those who have missed it by a whisker remember exactly which requirement they didn't complete. Americans from all walks of life know that being an Eagle Scout is a great honor, even if they don't know just what the badge means. The award is more than a badge, it's a state of being. You are an Eagle Scout, you never were. You may have received the badge as a boy, but you earn it every day as a man. In the words of the Eagle Scout promise, you do your best each day to make your training an example, your rank and your influence count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship in your troop, in your community, and in your contacts with other people. And to this you pledge your sacred honor. In scouting, the Eagle stands for strength of character and for knowledge of the phases of scouting. The Eagle represents an understanding of community and nation and a deep respect for both. The Eagle is a symbol of what a young man has done as well as what a young man will do and will be when he grows to manhood. It represents many years of dedicated effort and the successful completion of a long process that started when the young man became an Eagle Scout, became a Boy Scout, sorry. From 1912 to 2016, more than 2.4 million Boy Scouts have earned the Eagle rank. During that time period of 104 years, only 2.01% of eligible Scouts have earned Scouting's highest honor. The Eagle rank is only earned by about 6% of Boy Scouts each year. In my research, I found a list of notable Eagle Scouts, 40 astronauts, 9 Medal of Honor recipients, and 1 president have gained the Eagle rank. Soon to be added to that prestigious list is the Troop 1 Stowe fly fishing aficionado, Max. Troop 1 has a much higher than average rate of Eagles, more like 10%. Max is the 76th Scout to be awarded the rank of Eagle as a member of Troop 1 since the troop was formed in 1912. Leadership and Scouts in Troop 1 are always excited to have another Eagle join the historic Eagle list and the legacy that it represents. It is sincerely a pleasure to see Max succeed, and I'm honored to be up here and welcoming you to the Eagle Brotherhood. Cameron and Nathan, would you please escort before this Eagle Court of Honor Eagle candidate Max Buchholz. At this time, I would like to introduce John Paul Benoit, Scoutmaster of Troop 1 Stowe, who will officially open this Eagle Court of Honor.
Good afternoon, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, and Scouts. It is my pleasure to be here for this Eagle Court of Honor. Today we have the honor and pleasure of recognizing Max Buchholz for this award of Eagle Scout. Max's parents and Scout leaders have labored long and hard and faithfully to develop him towards the responsible citizenship through the Boy Scout program. Their efforts now accumulate in the presentation of the Eagle Award. The success of his efforts, however, will be manifested in a way this new Eagle Scout sets a social pattern for those lives that he touches. By the authority vested in me by the National Court of Honor of Boy Scouts in America, I hereby declare this Eagle Court of Honor now open. I would like to ask Max's father, Mr. Buchholz, to come forward to introduce the rank presentation.
Thanks, John Paul. The presentation of the Eagle Scout Award is an important and serious matter. For the Eagle candidate, this is the pinnacle of his scouting efforts. The attainment of this award is made possible through the assistance of those with the candidate here today. His Scoutmasters, troop leaders, fellow Scouts, parents, family, friends, and members of the community. This is an occasion for pride and joy, as well as a time for serious reflection. The Eagle is the highest recognition offered in Scouting. It is earned through the Achievement Program The wearer of the Eagle Award is the embodiment of Scouting's best efforts and beliefs. I would like to take a few moments to describe the path that Max followed on his way to the Eagle rank. The pathway to Eagle can be likened to a steep trail leading up to progressively higher peaks, the highest being that of Eagle Scout. Officially, the trail starts with the Scout rank and continues through tenderfoot, second, and first class. The focus here is on skills for camping, cooking, tying knots, and teamwork. It's your basic equivalent of a hike in the town forest. Then the climb really begins. The path is marked with merit badges, leadership responsibilities, service projects, and the practice of scouting skills and ideals. The first peak reached is that of the Star Scout. It's more than a hike in the forest. There's at least 4 months as an official troop position, service project, and 6 merit badges. The second peak, a little bit higher than the first, is the Life Scout. Here you show dedication to Scout spirit by living the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, and you spend at least 6 months in a leadership position. You teach younger Scouts skills for their ranks and earn 5 more merit badges. Finally, the last peak, the hardest, Eagle Scout. It's far more challenging than all the previous. A classically underestimated peak requiring more focus and determination than any so far. As a former Scoutmaster, I'd like to describe what Max did to complete the Eagle Scout rank. He was active in the troop for at least 6 months, earning the rank of Life Scout. He earned a minimum of 21 merit badges, including 13 Eagle required. He served at least 6 months in the troop leadership position as a patrol leader. He planned, developed, and gave leadership to others in an approved service project. His project was the construction and installation of a kiosk at the Pine Bluffs recreation area. To complete the project, Max showed the ability to plan a project, lead others carrying it out. Max had to obtain the many necessary town approvals and reviews prior to beginning his project and work closely with the Stowe Recreation Department. Max then participated in a Scoutmasters Conference and had reviewed by a board which included representatives from Knox Trail Council, or now Mayflower, as well as members of Troop 1 in Stowe.
Thanks, Dave. The Scout movement constitutes one of the most responsible and wholesome developments of our time. Max, you will be asked to assume a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to your country, to your fellow citizens. Will Scoutmaster John Paul Benoit please take his place in front of the candidate? At this time, I would like to ask the Scoutmaster to administer the Eagle Scout charge and oath.
Before I begin, I would like to invite all the Eagle Scouts in the audience to come stand behind Max as a symbol of brotherhood. Max, I have the honor to charge you to enter this Eagle Scout Brotherhood. By pledging of the Eagle Scout oath before your fellow members, you will become a member of this brotherhood. Though the words you use will be similar to those which you used to join Scouting, they will mean more than they could ever have meant in the past. When you pledge yourself on the sacred word of honor, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout and with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. Will the audience please rise? Max, Scout sign, and repeat after me. I, Max, reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I, Max, reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout.
The obligation and the responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best.
On my honor, I will do my best.
To make my training and examples.
To make my training and examples.
My rank and my influence.
My rank and my influence.
To count for better scouting and for better citizenship.
To count for better scouting and for better citizenship.
In my troop, in my community and my contacts with other people.
and my truth in my community and my contacts with other people.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
2. Audience may be seated. Thank you, fellow Eagle Scouts. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to ask Kevin and Teddy to escort Max's parents to the stage. By the authority invested in me by the Mayflower Council and the National Court of Honor of Boy Scouts of America, it is my great privilege and pleasure to pronounce you as an Eagle Scout. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Live up to every task that you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service. And you will leave behind you a record of which every Scout can be justly proud of. The Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Max L. Buchholz, Troop 1 Scout, in recognition of successful completion of all the requirements of the Scout's highest rank. Dated November 2nd, 2017, signed by the BSA President, Scout Executive, and Commissioner. To the mother belongs the honor of pinning on the chest the badge of Eagle. Max, in recognition of the encouragement given to you by your parents, I would like to ask you to present your mother with a token of your appreciation, a miniature eagle pin. And I would ask you to present your father with his miniature eagle pin as well. You may be seated.
Thank you, John Paul. It is now the part of the program to hear from our distinguished guests. I would like now to invite Brian Burke to come forward and read Governor Baker's citation.
Max, it's some personal pleasure that on behalf of His Excellency Governor Charles Baker, I would like to give you the citation, which reads, on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you this Governor's citation in recognition of earning the honor of Boy Scout Eagle Scout Award as a member of Troop 1 of Stowe, Massachusetts, this 10th day of March. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. I would now like to invite the Honorable Kate Hogan to read her commendation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Do we all have power? I am so very pleased to be here to congratulate Max on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. His leadership in working with the Stowe Recreation Department to create and install a new map at Pine Bluffs is really an important accomplishment, a wonderful accomplishment to become an Eagle Scout. I often say that I try to make all of these because it is important to say, yes, you did achieve this, and you did it with a sense of honor. You did it because you worked hard, and hopefully through all of that you developed a can-do attitude that you will bring to community service, to public service in the coming years, and I am so very honored to be a part of this. I have with me a resolution that describes in detail exactly what the project was, and a copy of this will be forwarded to the Clerk of the House and shall always be in the House of Representatives at the State House in Boston, signed by Robert DeLeo, and also very humbly by your State Representative, Kate Hogan. Congratulations, Max, and good luck in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Ms. Hogan. I would like to invite Selectman Brian Burke to read his commendation.
Yes, I'm doing double duty. This is a lesser distinguished award, but it is from your fellow townspeople, Max, and it's something that we're very proud to give you. It is the official citation recognizing your induction into the Eagle Court of Honor. Congratulations. There is a covering letter that is not yet complete, but because of the snow and because of illness in our staff, but it does say, and this I think is important, that achieving Eagle Scout status is an accomplishment of which you can be extremely proud. The Board of Selectmen is confident that your experience as a Boy Scout will serve you well in your future endeavors. And I will get that covering letter finalized, but congratulations again.
Thank you again, Brian. I would like now to invite Mr. Eric Bachtel from the Recreation Commission to read his commendation.
Good morning. I just want to say I'm honored to be here. Congratulations, Max. A fine young man. In regards to Max project, Eagle Scout is a challenge. We have many fine projects done in town by our Eagle Scouts, and the Recreation Commission greatly appreciates all their efforts. We appreciate all the work you did. Your signboard is a great compliment to a wonderful project for the town. It'll be there for many years to help direct folks who come to Stowe community, to the Pine Bluff Recreation area. It's a wonderful signboard with a map that Max made to help all those who come to the park, to direct them and understand all the great things there. Really, great project. I understand the challenges, raising money, constructing, coming before the Rec Commission. Max, great communication, excellent confidence. We don't make it the easiest path. We understand the challenges associated with it. We enjoy asking those tough questions, and Max really responded great with a wonderful project for the town. So once again, on behalf of the Stowe Recreation Commission, thank you and congratulations on your Eagle Scout.
Thank you, Mr. Bachtel. Mr. Dave Stepp, would you please come forward to read the American flag presentation?
Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, everyone. Max? It is my honor, and thank you for allowing me to do this, Max, to present to you this flag of the United States with this following description. This is to certify the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on November 28, 2017, at the request of the Honorable Nikki Songus, Member of Congress. This flag was flown for Max Buchholz in honor of his achievement of earning the rank of Eagle Scout.
Thank you, Mr. Stepp. At this time, We will watch a slideshow presentation highlighting Max's scouting career, crafted by Mr. Gary Bernclough, much anticipated, highly anticipated, I would say.
I should probably speak into the mic, I guess. This is going to be an unusual slide presentation because, Max, I could not find a single embarrassing photo of you anywhere. Honestly, it's incredibly difficult to do. You guys get the lights? Stage lights? But luckily your dad could find quite a few of them. So we're going to start off early, your pre-Boy Scout career, and look at your life outside of Boy Scouts before you joined the troop. And you're a very active individual, as was the whole family, which I guess is to be understood. We have about 50 of these pictures that I had to delete some of them, Dave, but I'm sorry. But they're great. That's how you still eat ice cream, by the way. Closed area. Nice. You have no issue with danger. There you go. Where is this?
Jackson Hole.
I was going to say, okay. I thought you had a lot of pictures of Jackson Hole in there. Beautiful. Tetons in the background. So from the early stages, you knew what you were doing already when you came to the troop, which was nice. No issues with you knowing how to do things or not having the right equipment, which is a bonus for us as Scoutmasters. Not having to walk you through those things. Check that out. Action photo. And again, this is all outside of scouting, but still. I feel like you're trying to win an argument here. That's a great one. Nate's thrilled. Having a great time.
You got the same look now?
There you go. More family shots. So I did mention to Dave that I had approximately 400 photos of Max. So I had to cut them down. So believe me, this isn't all of them. Nate looks panicked here. What? What's interesting is one of your first trips. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was California, right? We'll get into that in a bit. Your Tiger Woods phase. Looks like it was a pretty good swing. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Soccer star. Because you got a medal. Not just everybody gets a medal, right? Served some time as a lineman for the county. Here's your tools, your lineman's tools. Yep. You had some interesting Halloween costumes over the years. That's a good one. You look like your father here, by the way. There, sweet. And you know what? I just know for a fact, Dave, you just had that stuff lying around since college, right?
I don't know where they got it.
That's a good one. Although, is that a duplicate?
No, that's Nate now.
Oh, that's Nate. That's right. At some point, Nate got taller. Oh, yeah. It's a hand-me-down. You dressed as an igloo one year, which is good. And is that a homemade ghillie suit?
I believe it is.
Nice. And, of course, you didn't do anything to your face. You just didn't wash it for a week.
Which is like after a camping trip.
Exactly. So this is a good one. I want you to look at this right here. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. How attractive.
I did not provide that shot.
And we do eventually go into your scouting career, as we see here. I was lucky enough to be at several of your blue and gold banquets. You and my son are near the same age. So I was present for a lot of these. And I don't know, Steve's just being crazy there. Thrilled to death. You can just see it in your face. There you go. That's a better reaction. Receiving that trophy. Pinewood Derby trophy. Advancing career leader. You're a den leader here, right? Or what do they call it? Den chief, that's it. Sorry. I didn't spend too much time in Cub Scouts, so. You're not supposed to eat the brush after you're done painting it on your face. Lesson you learn pretty quickly. Again, thrilled. Look at that. Whoa. Yeah. Wahoo. Learned a lot of skills in Cub Scouts. Attempted a lot of skills in Cub Scouts. And I include this picture because this was one of the worst nights I've ever had in my life. Spending it. So at the Museum of Science, camping, if you've ever done that, it's horrible. I can't explain how unbelievably bad it is. But, so... Sleep on the floor. It's just, and they don't turn the machines off. It's just ridiculous. Look at that. Pals. Close up. Action shot. There you go. Finally a reaction to the camera. The first one, I think. Who is that? Okay, he is blowing so hard on that thing. You're not doing anything. You have no effect on that sailboat. On that rain gutter. This is at the Battleship, Massachusetts, right? Luckily, I never went on this outing because I'm sure it was worse than the Museum of Science. That's what I've heard. Same place. And I included this one because it has Mr. Burke in it. We had to get yeah, exactly. I did the same thing a couple of years with my son, and where you actually sit down and he has the tools and he'll cut the shape of your car out for you, so the kids don't have to worry about using power tools. It's a lot of fun. And this is the result of that, is the actual race itself, where everybody is screaming. That must have been a seriously intense race. Even this mom up here is reacting crazy. And this is your car right here?
No.
The bacon one, okay. I remember both these cars, by the way. This was, so the bacon car, pretty awesome. And that's with the NBA trophy.
We went to a council event where Shaq spoke.
Oh, okay.
So he happened to have that in tow.
Oh, with him? Yeah, well, good for him. And this was the golf ball pockmarked card?
The Max Fly.
The Max. The Max Fly. Did the pockmarks help? Aerodynamically, it's supposed to be that. Yeah. Oh well, it's good effort anyway. This was one of the requirements that a Wheelo has to do is go on a Boy Scout outing for something, or at least spend some time with the Boy Scouts. And this was one of the outings that the Boy Scouts, the Wheelos went on with us. And it's a little bit of a dark slide, but look at Max's face here. That look of incredulity. I don't know even what that look is, but look, he's staring at John Paul like he's a god, or he's saying, "What? This guy doesn't know what he's doing." One of the two. I can't quite figure out which one it is. I'm sure they were. They still are. The BB gun range. Gotta love this, right? A lot of fun there. And your crossing over ceremony. I think it's the first time we've ever had a picture of both of us greeting somebody coming across there. Pretty impressive. And again, I remember that. So. At first I thought this was really early in his scouting career, and it is, but he's already first class. Look at this. He's already bolted up there in the first class. Pretty impressive. An early outing. This was a California training trip, actually, I believe, right? One of the first ones, and I don't know where it is, Town Forest, maybe?
I don't know. Might have been Monroe.
It could have been Monroe, yeah. Actually, you think you're right. The other pictures are Monroe in western Massachusetts. And there you go. It's
Also training.
also training to keep warm.
You passed that.
Learning how to cook on an actual stove. This is actually one of the breakfasts, one of the Cub Scout breakfast hikes. And again, you can't get enough training in Troop 1 Stow, right? We prepare you for everything. Winter camping, you definitely want to be wearing shorts. What is up with that? Hey, shorts. You're still wearing shorts. Learning how to use proper use of whistles. Luckily, you're not wearing shorts in this picture. Something got to you and said, "Hey, don't be an idiot." And you said, "Okay." Put on pants. Some first aid, some first responder action here. Some training that you went through. You're holding his head like a pro. Don't move your head. Don't move your head. Well done. And this is actually one of your first major trips with us was in California in 2012. And this is your group right here. That's you right in front with that ubiquitous green shirt that we'll see a lot of in this slideshow. This is actually a pre-hike out in California. Again, same pre-hike. And you did some fly fishing when you were out there, right? I think this is a fly fishing stream. Give some more photos of that in a bit. And this was one of the old camp remnants that was out there in California on the hike we went on. You came across an old, cowboy camp essentially. A lot of cards played on the trail. And some big trees. That green shirt again. This is actually in Yosemite National Park, one of the vistas there. And this is actually on the trail when you met up with another hiking group. You ran into my group, and we stopped for a little while and had a chat. And everyone was mulled around in a big circle, so I screamed at the top of my lungs, and they all turned and looked at me, and I took a picture. So, and there you are right there, in that green shirt. Hey, green shirt, look at that. All right. On the trail. The California hike was interesting. We came across a place called Bake Oven Plains or something like that. And that's what it was. It was scorching hot, like a desert, and it was brutal. Green shirt. You look very clean here, so you're staying clean on the trail. Believe me, if this was a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, we didn't have as much light here. His face is a mess. It's a mess. And I forgot to mention the delectable meals you're eating. Right, this one right here is macaroni and cheese. Freeze-dried macaroni and cheese. I have no idea what this one is, but I'm sure it's equally as yummy. Oh, here's some fishing area photos, or just digging in the mud photos. There you go, fishing with the old man. And I heard you caught one. Yeah, here it is. It's a beauty. Did you clean that, skin it? This is you eating a worm, right? No, wait, what was it?
Brine.
The brine at Mono Lake in California. Yeah. A lot of kids ate this and did not appreciate it. Front of Half Dome. Can't beat that. I am victorious. And a good one in front of Half Dome. Yeah, at least you weren't wearing a green shirt in this one. That's your hiking group? And this, of course, where's this at?
Lake Tahoe.
Right. Lake Tahoe. The paddleboard. Who's that guy, Max? Quick. I knew you were going to get upset if you didn't know who it was. Dave, who is this?
John Muir.
That's the statue of John Muir in one of the Yosemite Visitor Centers. We hiked on the John Muir Trail out there for a little while, by the way. And obviously a fun trip.
That was Nantucket bike trip.
Oh, okay. So again, obviously he had a good time. This was actually at the 100th anniversary celebration at the Collings Foundation. And this is one of your first canoe trips, which was in New York, upstate New York, which is not one of my favorite trips ever, but you seem to have a good time on it. I did some hiking on that trip as well. This is up one of the peaks we went up. And on the way back, we hit a little swimming hole. It had a nice little flume through it, and this is Max going through that. He survived, I'm pretty sure. We got him out. This is the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. One of our trips there. We'll be heading there again in about a month. Max right in front. And a snowshoeing trip that we took out at Treasure Valley, Boy Scout camp at the other side of Worcester. And we did an epic snowshoe around the camp up there. And came back and sat around the fire and warmed ourselves up because it was too cold. Get back and get more wreaths sold. This is an interesting one. This is your board review for your Life Award. Got that a long time ago. Was that like 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like
Yeah, nice. Waited 3 years to get your Eagle. Jeez. Okay. Hope other people will do that. We have a lot of pictures of you at summer camp, by the way, so we're going to stroll through your career at summer camp. That's in the harness waiting to go up on one of the high events in the Project Cope course. Again, you're thrilled. This is during the Apache Relay, I believe. Informal parade and retreat, when you had to go and actually take down the flags. You were practicing this here. Interesting thing about this is we have another Eagle Board Review, Eagle Court of Honor in a couple weeks. And this has all three of those guys in it, which is pretty nice. So you'll see this one again if you come back. Max is over here on the left, and Garrett Magnuson, the other Eagle, and Eli Bachtel right there. And yet another one. That's a good one. So this is after the Apache Relay, the event at camp. It's like a big relay race, and one of the premier events at camp every year. And this was the year that Max was the anchor leg, so he had to jump in from the swimmer's raft and come in and tag the flagpole, and he was the guy carrying the baton there at the end. And as we all know, that's the key leg, right? The last one. You don't win it if you don't have someone good in that last leg. And earning an award at camp. I blew this up and saw it, and I thought, God, that's what my elbow looks like? That's horrible. What is that? This was a bike trip to somewhere. This is the cave. This is Nantucket?
Acadia.
Oh, this is Acadia. Okay. One I did not go on. Oh, wait. This is going in Eli's slide presentation as well. But look at this. Like he's dropping an album somewhere. Yeah, it's the same thing up in Acadia. And this was one of the other canoe trips you went on. I believe this was West Branch. It could still be New York, no one knows. This, I think, is West Branch. Right? And a great photo, actually. Max up there in the back, sneaking his face in. But one of my favorite pictures, anyway. And we can't talk about your career without your trip to Montana in 2016, which I think you'll agree was an awesome trip. Just fantastic scenery out there. Looks like you're all carrying samurai swords, by the way. Like you're ready to go.
We were safe.
Yeah, exactly. I heard on this one you actually, I deleted it. I probably should have put it in. You actually caught a real fish on this trip, right?
Yeah.
And cooked it on that very rock, which is pretty nice. And there was a picture of it cooking, and I was like, "There's nobody in that. I'm taking that one out of there." And then I realized it probably went up in this one. My fault. This is the Flathead River in Montana. Said the scenery is absolutely gorgeous. Most of the trail went along this river the whole way for, well, 60 or 70% of it. A lot of good swimming. The river temperature was about 52, 53 degrees, something like that. It was cold, but the sun was nice. So this was the group you were hiking with on your backpacking trip. Nice to see you're not wearing your green shirt there. Granite Creek Trail Junction, and inside Glacier National Park. Did several day trips into Glacier National Park and a couple of really crazy day hikes. And we did 2 day hikes. One was, I think, 7.5 miles round trip, but it went straight up this cliff. And the other one was 9 miles round trip, and then Dave decided to do both of them. So you guys went like 15 miles round trip, which was pretty crazy. Yeah. Yeah. And this is this is actually just sightseeing the park. That was one of the hikes. So that's the top of Ptarmigan Tunnel, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's the switch. Those are switchbacks. So that trail goes down, goes back down this way, and goes back down that way. And it goes a total distance of about 1/4 mile, but you have to hike about 2 miles to get up there. So that was a tough day hike, but one of the best day hikes I've ever taken in my life. And this is Iceberg Lake. In August. Yeah. So it was warm. Doesn't look like Nate went in, though. And finally, we come to Eric Bechtel talked about the presentation that he had to make in front of the Rec Commission. This is actually a picture of him doing that, or at least one of the meetings that he had to meet with the Rec Commission for his project, which is a very impressive project. We'll take a look at that here. This is building the case for that signboard in, I assume, your garage or something to that effect, some kind of workspace. And this is you and Kevin Henry using very delicate construction methods, as you can tell by the sledgehammer and the hatchet up here, to gently, make sure this thing fits the way it's supposed to fit.
That's the old one.
Okay. Gently pull apart the old one and recognize how. And here's the pit that they had to dig and actually cement this signboard in. So you can see.
We're really big on that, Gary. Bill's character. So how deep are you going to put the post in the ground? We always suggest someplace around 3 feet or more.
I was going to say 8 feet. It's like an 8-foot sonotube. Okay.
Bill's character.
Yeah.
2 feet's fine, but 4 feet Bill's character.
4 feet is better. Yeah. So that's a pretty deep hole to dig with a single post hole digger. I would have rented an auger myself, but that's just me. Mixing up the cement. Thrill a minute. I don't know what construction method this is, but whatever. Finally, the almost done product. At least they got it cemented in that day. It's still missing a roof, but that'll come. And this is what it looked like when they're done. So a really impressive project. Well done. And here you go. And that's pretty much it. This was on the night of his board review, as was this. So that's it. That's all I have. Congratulations again, Max.
I'm going to have John Wood come up for the Troop 1 Stowe alumni presentation.
On behalf of Troop 1 Stowe alumni, it's my pleasure to present Max with a membership of the National Eagle Scout Association. Congratulations.
And Gary and JP again for the Scoutmasters special presentation.
So Max, it's my pleasure to present this on behalf of the Scoutmasters. This is a tradition that we've had for 20, we'll call it 20 years, it's close enough, 20 years or so, for all the Scouts that have become an Eagle under John Paul and my service time as Scoutmasters. An old man traveling a long highway came at the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim, the sullen stream held no fears for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. "Old man," cried a fellow pilgrim near, "you're wasting your time in building here. Your journey will end with the passing day, you never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide, why build you this bridge at even tide?" The builder lifted his old gray head. "Good friend, in the path I have come," he said, "there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This stream which has been as naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building that bridge for him." This award is presented in memory of Donald Benoit, the originator of the Troop 1 Stowe Eagle Knife tradition and an exceptional bridge builder himself. Troop 1 hereby recognizes and presents to Max Buchholz the bridge builder knife as recognition for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. It represents the sharp intelligence, pointed determination, and strength of character necessary to attain the Eagle rank, and symbolizes the lifelong bond between Scoutmaster and Scout, presented on this the 10th day of March 2018. Congratulations, Max.
Thank you, Gary and JP. At this time, I believe Max would like to say a few words of his own.
Thank you, Jeff. I would like to start by saying thank you to everybody for coming to my Eagle Scout Court of Honor. Many of you have helped me along the path of achieving Eagle, and although I wish I could thank every one of you individually, there wouldn't be enough time for that. First, I would like to thank Jeff as both being a fantastic MC for this Court of Honor and also being my Eagle coach, who dedicated hours of his life helping scouts like me attain the rank of Eagle. I'd also like to thank some of the special guests who were mentioned before in the ceremony. Thank you to the Honorable Kate Hogan for taking time out of her busy schedule to be here. And thank you to Mr. Burke for representing both the Governor's Office and the Board of Selectmen. And thank you to Mr. Bechtel for coming for the Recreation Commission, who I also wouldn't have been able to done the project without. I would also like to thank those scouts who assisted me on the project. It took a lot of coordination and a lot of hard work to do, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. I also couldn't go this speech without thanking some of the leaders who have helped me my way through scouting. I would, of course, like to thank the Scoutmasters, JP and Gary, who do such an amazing job with the troop, and who I would definitely not be up on the stage without. I would also like to thank Mr. Stepp and Mr. Taft, who are also important leaders for much of my years in the troop. And lastly, I would like to thank my family. I'll start by saying thank you to my cousins, my aunts, and my uncles for everything and driving all the way out here to show up to my Court of Honor. I would also like to give a very special thanks to my grandparents who have done so much for me, especially for my grandfather who has really been motivation for me to get my Eagle badge. I would also like to thank my brothers, Nate and Cam, for putting up with me for all the years. And even though they might not have a choice. And I would lastly like to thank my mom and dad who have given me so much love and support and have done so much for me. And there's no way I could thank you enough. Thank you. And now I'll hand it back to Jeff.
Will everyone please rise? As an appropriate closing to this Eagle Court of Honor, I would ask Max to lead us in reaffirming the Scout law.
Scout sign. Scout law. Scout
Is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and thorough.
2. Tie the colors.
This Eagle Court of Honor is now concluded. Will you please join us for some refreshments immediately following the ceremony at Max's house? The address is 84 Walcott Street in Stowe. I believe it's also a program. Thank you all for attending, participating, and sharing in this joyous and solemn occasion.